Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. My husband called and he was checking on me, and I had to stop at the doctor today because I wasn't feeling my best. But I did want to do this video because it made me think about spiritual meanings of illnesses and stuff like that. Okay, so I was talking about migraines and anxiety tying in together because one is resisting the flow of life and the other one is not trusting the flow. And I was telling you about somebody I know that's that deals with both, and it makes sense because the reason why they're dealing with this is because of how things are going in their life, and they've experienced some trauma too. So when a lot of that stuff happens, it can tie in a lot of stuff. But yeah, we're gonna keep on moving because I'm gonna try to keep this part 2 short. Oh, and I was talking about this in the other video. Fatigue, and it says resistance, boredom, lack of love for job, or it could be lack of love for whatever you're doing in your life. So just let's say you're a bartender, but you hate it, and when you get off work, you just fatigued, worn out. But just let's say you only accompanied maybe 10 people that whole night. You fix the drinks, you all happy and pep because it's your job, but when you get home, you're just exhausted, and you're like, why am I so exhausted? If you're not truly happy with what you're doing, things like this will manifest. And another thing, I know sometimes when we're on our path to figuring out things in our life, we're not going to always do stuff that we want to do. So keep that in mind. This doesn't mean you just go out and quit your job, go out and say, fuck everything, fuck everybody, and then try to start doing something else. Because, I mean, life has failures and things like that. So you need to be mindful of that. Now, if you're doing this and you're working towards an end goal, and the end goal is going to fulfill, okay, be happy about it. Don't allow what's going on in the present moment stop you from working towards your future. And, we have to learn how to exist in the present moment in our lives, because when we don't, we start losing focus. And that's what creates a lot of resistance, anxiety, depression, and other things, migraines. It's a whole list of things. Now, there are some more serious diseases, like, for example, cancer. You can have whole deep secrets. You never stop resisting things in your life and stuff like that. So, oh, and one thing I was saying in the other video is that I am not a health professional. So when you're dealing with these things, still go see a doctor. I'm not here to diagnose anything or anything like that. So I just want you to keep that in mind. This is just a video to give you guys some tips, or try to understand things and go do your own research. I mean, we're in this together. But for 1 second, I don't want nobody going to the doctor be like, oh, I was watching Destiny on Day 27 Healing on YouTube channel, and she said the reason for me having the yeast infection is because I have a lot of frustration. Because the doctor probably look at you like you're crazy. Because there are some doctors that are spiritual, there are some that's not, and you never know which one you're going to get. Kind of like a box of chocolates. But yeah, anyway. So another one is acne, not accepting of self. Now, it's funny because I've always been, people would say selfish. I don't like the word. I need to figure out another word. But in my own ways, I used to always have ways of loving myself or keeping things in myself. And I've always been told that I have nice, smooth, pretty skin. So, and the only time I experience acne is when I'm getting close to my period and stuff like that. So it was funny when I thought about it, because the ones I wrote down, remind me of people that's been around me. A friend of mine had acne, and it was funny because she wasn't very accepting of herself. Sweet person, she goes after the things she wants in life, but her deep down inside, she wasn't being truthful and honest with herself about how she really feels about things and who she really is as a person. So yeah, so if you know somebody that may have a lot of acne, pay attention to how they act. Pay attention to how they want to do things for themselves. Pay attention to how they respond to things dealing with themselves. Like, just to say, y'all going out and they dressed up like, oh, girl, you look so much better than me. I know I look like a fool right now. Or be like, oh, girl, I ain't pretty. I got all these bumps in my face. I don't care about myself. Pay attention to that. And when you catch it, nip it in the bud with them. Don't be mean, but encourage them and have them to start doing the things that help them, accept themselves, motivate them. Don't just sit there and let them fall to the wayside, because believe it or not, that shit can manifest in a more critical shit that, you know, I almost said it can be irreversible, but we all know things can be reversed. And sometimes you're not going to catch everything in time. It's just a part of the process, divine time and all of that, you know. But anywho, let's move along. The last one I have is vaginitis, and this says sexual guilt, punishing self, and anger of a mate. Now, me personally, I've dealt with vaginitis before, and it is not a good thing to deal with because sometimes it can go undetected. Sometimes you can experience burning and itching, and that is not a good feeling to have in your hoo-ha down there. And, you know, for a long time, you know, a lot of people get this confused with yeast infections, but they're two totally different things. Yeast infection has its own thing, vaginitis has its own thing. And the part about sexual guilt, if you know somebody that gets this a lot, they could have had sex with somebody that was controlling, or they could have had sex with somebody that was very aggressive, or they could have had a whole bunch of sexual partners and they regret even having all of those partners, things like that. Or it can be like when you're punishing yourself, like just to say when you get something wrong or you make a mistake, you just hard on yourself. Now this makes sense for me, being hard on myself. Definitely, I am definitely overcritical of myself, and I've had, you know, been told by people like, hey, Destiny, like, you made a mistake, like, you good, chill out, let that shit go. And like angry at a mate, now hell yeah, y'all know my, you know, your husband, boyfriend, or whatever gonna piss you. I know my husband gonna piss me out plenty of times, but I still love him. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, that just is what it is. And I'm sure some of us have had sexual guilt about some of the partners or some, you know, we don't have in my life. Because I know I can admit it. Some people I don't, you know, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. But at that time, I was not in the mindset that I was in now. The mindset I'm in now, nah. And I'm married anyway, so that's not going to happen. But yeah, and honestly, all of these things can be experienced by both male and female. You do not have to be a woman to have vaginitis or yeast infections. Like, men can get this, and oftentimes they get it from women, or if they sweat a lot in their crotch area and things like that. But still keep in mind, you know, even though it has its physical manifestations, it has its spiritual manifestations too. So this is why it's important to develop and grow spiritually and evolve spiritually, because once you start doing that, you'll notice a lot of things start to go away. Like me, I used to always get colds a lot, used to get sinus infections, but once I started elevating spiritually, they started to go away. I noticed a lot of stuff started to go away. I was more happy, I was more calm, and I was at peace. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that. And another thing I want to let you guys know is that I'm very open with things. That doesn't mean I'm going to share my whole life story. You know what I'm saying? Because I like, you know, sometimes we like keep some shit to ourselves. You know, it's okay. But the important things like this, like the whole vaginitis thing, I was thinking, like, should I even share that? Because some people can take this shit and twist it, but I have no control over that, and that has nothing to do with me, because I'm solid enough within myself to be like, hey, yeah, I've had this before. It is what it is, and it's not like it's an uncommon thing. And another thing about this is the sexual guilt aspect, or, you know, punishing yourself. Just let's say you're douching and stuff like that with this. You shouldn't be douching. That's not good for your vagina. That's a form of punishment. Having sex with people you know you don't need to be having sex with, or don't want to have sex with at all, that's punishing yourself. You know, being angry at your partner and not communicating with them effectively, that's a form of punishment too. So when you start to think about it and piece it together, you're like, God damn, that makes sense. But yeah, that's all for today, you guys. I gotta go to the store and pick up a few things. And I was supposed to be gone from here like 10 minutes ago. I told babe, like, hey, I'm finna leave. I'm finna be on my way to the store. But he gonna see this on Facebook later when I'm sharing it with you guys. He gonna be like, oh, so that's what you was doing. You know, I didn't want to say all the stuff like, hey, I'm doing a YouTube video. Like, oh, come on home. I had to do this. Something told me to get this out, because every time I'm posting a video, like I told y'all, if y'all watch my video on day 27 healing something, it comes to me and it feels natural, and I have to get that out. And I'm always doing my videos in the car, and like I told you guys, with that, you know, things are gonna change. I'm gonna start doing a little effects, video sound effects, because I like that. So I just gotta, you know, do a little bit more. But in the meantime, this right here, this is what it's gonna be. But yeah, y'all have a good one, and it's up there. Enjoy your day.